we've been talking a bit about why won't people act, and there's some theories around the fact that there's a fair bit of money washing around, and we know there's some more money in the budget, but your point's absolutely on money. If you're insolvent now, the protection may or may not be there. You've got to act.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's important to, strategize your business. Every good business that you see constantly looks at the way in which they're trading, the way, their directions, their original, goals and KPIs. And if you're not constantly looking at those, that's when and taking your eye off the ball. In my experience, that's when companies fail. So you need to look at your set of circumstances now. And these are circumstances which we just could not have envisaged a couple of years ago. I mean, this is once every 100 and odd years stuff that we're dealing with presently. Right. So people need to be looking at their businesses and saying, well now what part is actually viable? What are we continuing to do and run a stream of income in this particular company because that's the way we've always done it? Is now the time to look at that particular stream and say, well, that's just because that's what my parents did or their parents did. It's no longer valid in the current day. Is this particular product that we're doing, or is this particular service now obsolete? And you're just holding on to it because that's what your parents did. Is it now time to look at them and say, well, now's the time to remove that part of our business? Rationalise, do we need the same amount of space that we've been currently leasing for the last 20 years? Is it time to look at all those things in our business and say, we can rationalise where we're at, we can cut costs without cutting staff, or we can become more profitable, and that's what they should be looking at. And you can do it legally. You can look at a particular business and say, well, there are legacy debts here which we just cannot pay. We know that we can't pay them, but there's a legitimate business here, and that's what the voluntary administration process is for.
So, in all fairness to Kristen, people have been saying that for years. Why would people? What do you see that's different now?
Look, I'll just touch on a couple of points that Kristen made, if I may, first. Yeah. Sure. Well, the thing to remember is that anyone who's got creditors greater than $1 million, seriously, why aren't you getting real safe harbour advice? I mean, it goes without saying, who would rely on free insurance from the government? Are you kidding me? Go and see someone, and anyone who hasn't seen anyone and isn't in real safe harbour and needs to be in real safe harbour, really needs their head read, because to me, in many ways, I differ from Kristen's view. I think this was deliberate by the government. I think it was intentional. It makes sense. They didn't want zombies running around, but they wanted to protect small business, which they've done a pretty good job. So that liquidators, when they got to the end of this, perhaps couldn't sue people who accidentally did insolvent trading, or just had through no fault of their own, ended up in a situation where they were insolvent trading. And I think that what the government's done to counter this is to say, okay, that was your 9 months of putting your company into liquidation. You've had that 9 months to think about it, but it's time now, people. You need to go and either make your own decision, put it into liquidation, or go and see someone. So I think that's what it was all about.
And see, people should not only get advice now, but it is a zombie killer, in the sense that you are making people make a decision, because as Kristen said some really great points, but of course many people have been trying to say to company directors in Australia, take notice. So if you wanted to take notice, maybe the best piece is to take notice now.
Yes, I think so. I think it's a good wake-up call to everyone to have a look, and if you want real safe harbour, it's not that difficult to get yourself together a turnaround plan, and get into real safe harbour if you're concerned. Otherwise, watch this space. Come the 1st of January, there'll be some lower cost and cheaper alternatives.